This episode is brought to you by NBA on Prime. This Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, it's the Emirates NBA Cup Championship game on Prime. This year's quest for the Cup has been building to this, the championship game, live from Las Vegas. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. The Emirates NBA Cup Championship game, this Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Popeye's Scary Good new Freddy Fazbear Box has garlic palm tenders and cheesy bites with marinara sauce. Try it before it's too late. And see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other topics, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Should I prepare for competition? Welcome to another episode of Anxious Black Belt, podcast that focuses on karate, mental health, and everything in between. As our club gonna be taking part in a competition organized by AKA Combat Sports Club in the University of Bournemouth, questions are arising. Should we prepare or not? And there's two schools of thoughts. I've been on both ends. When I started competing in the knockdown competition and jiu-jitsu and judo back in Poland, we've been preparing for competition. It was a strict program. We knew that we training for sports. We knew that we want to compete. We knew that we're going to get better results if we prepare. So we spent a lot of time on drills, on conditioning, speed training, strength training, and everything that is involved in a preparation for a sporting activity. Losing weight, cutting weight down. This was something big mistake that I made. At Karate for Mental Health CIC, the mission is simple but powerful. To use the discipline, confidence, and community of karate to support people living with disabilities, mental health challenges, and those from disadvantaged backgrounds. For your support, Karate for Mental Health provides free karate training, helping individuals grow stronger, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Karate for Mental Health now offers workshops, courses, and exclusive merchandise, and every purchase directly funds these life-changing projects. Join the mission, make an impact. Enjoy 15% of your purchases with the code AAB15. Whether you are passionate about mental health, martial arts, or simply want to make a difference, your support helps building people up. One kick, one class, one moment at a time. Visit Karate for Mental Health CIC, CEO UK, gear up, get involved, and help change lives. Cut a lot of weight, and for years I couldn't gain that weight back. I don't know why, but it just didn't go the way I predicted. But hey ho, lesson learned. Other school of thought, which I am now on the side of, is to not prepare for the competition. Train as you train, go and test yourself, go and test your skills. Obviously, this is all depends on your goals, what you want to achieve, what you want to get from your training in martial arts. There's many groups of people, some doing it for well-being, some doing it for fitness, some doing it for competition, some doing it just to have a hobby. If you're on the side of the sport and you want to be an athlete, you want to go and be the best that you can be, then obviously you need to put the effort in. You need to find the right coaches. You need to have a right programming, periodization, and a structure for your training to achieve the goals you set for yourself. There's a lot of competition, different forms, different formats, so it is up to you to choose the one that you want to excel in and gear your training towards that specific competition type. It might be a WKF, point fighting. It might be maybe a knockdown where you don't punch the face. It might be the Ashihara style knockdown where you can throw takedown. It might be the AKA sports combat sports format that is closer to the MMA, where you can throw, you can take down, but you don't continue fighting on the floor. It might be a kudo competition where everything is allowed with the headbutts, kicks, and everything, but limited ground. Or maybe you want to try yourself as a karateka going into the MMA, and that's going to be different rules as well for you. So it is important to gear up the training, gear up the activities you do within the training to your specific competition. And if you want to excel in this area, then you need to focus 100% on that goal. That doesn't mean that you're going to be training full on 100% time. So through the year, you're going to have a periodization where you're going to have a stages of preparation for that competition. You're going to have a schedule of competitions, and you're going to be preparing for different parts of the year, whatever competition is the most important for you. And you're going to have a segment of the training from technical to speed to strength to relaxation, so you can be the best version of yourself and best prepare mentally and physically for that competition. For me, I train for a leisure. I try it for my mental health. I try to train for a well-being, and so I don't see the reason for me to prepare myself. For me, it is important to know my skills at the level that I am training now. So the competitions once a year, twice a year, give me a feedback that with my current training, if it's working or is it not working. If I'm losing in the competitions, then maybe I need to bump up something in my training. But that gives me a feedback on my current skills and abilities, especially if you're going to go to kind of MMA training. I believe this is a very close to a punch up or a fight, and you can see how your technical skills work on other people during the adrenaline dump, stressful situation, and when you put on the real pressure. It's all nice to say that you have pressure in a dojo, people coming from different um, clubs, you training together, there's a bit of adrenaline going up and you're getting stressed about the training, so you kind of feel how you work under that pressure. But there's nothing like going onto the mats. The pressure and the adrenaline rush is on another level. Make gifting easy with Benson and Clegg. Handcrafted cufflinks, luxury accessories, and a proper British style. Trusted since the 1930s by royalty. Get 15% off with code Karate15, exclusively for Anxious Black Belt podcast listeners. Shop now at bensonandclegg.com. Those who never went on a mat into the competition, they only can imagine how that feels. And I hear a lot of people talking about the subject who never actually stepped into a fight. They say, oh, it's all just like on the street, and it's nothing like in the street. The opinions are divided. I've been in alteration on the street, I've been in the competitions, and pretty much it feels to me the same. The body, the adrenaline rush, you cannot detect the difference. It is a stressful situation. You're fighting for your life. Sure, there are rules in a competition that you need to adhere to, but that first moment when you're stepping on a mat and the gong or hajime goes, it is pretty much the same as a kickoff on the streets. So for me, it is important to go and test myself in an environment that I'm training at all times. If I'm starting to get prepared for the competition, I do a specific training, which is kind of putting me on a spot where I know that I'm pushing myself a lot. Will I be able to maintain that high peak, high performance abilities through the year? Of course not. Everybody who fights in a competition know that after that event, they have experiencing burnout, and then they have to have a rest, come back, take it easy. They're not as able as they've been before, because that expenditure of energy and preparation for a tournament takes the toll on the body. And if you don't give it the rest, you're gonna pay later. You might be 20-year-old now thinking that I'm talking rubbish, but trust me, you're gonna turn 50, you're gonna be feeling nothing comes for free in sports, in combat sports especially. So for me, I'm training regularly, then I go and test myself how my training stacks up against people who prepare. If I win, awesome. That means my training is pretty good. If I lose, going back and maybe improving some stuff. In terms of my students, we're not training for a competition purposes. So again, we're not gonna be preparing. I want to see how my coaching stacks up against people who are training for the competition. So we'll see in March. I might do another podcast on a kind of review of how it went, how did my students perform. We've got few beginners, we've got few people who training for a few years going. I'm still on the fence if I want to take part or I'm going to be coaching. I like both sides of it. I took part 2 years ago in a advanced and elderly division. That went very well. I managed to win my category. My student got silver, so it was a good result for us without preparation, just going from the dojo straight to the mats and training and winning and fighting. So I think it is a good format of training we've got. Definitely sparring on every session helps with being used to it, to the fight, being used to it, to that pressure. I think people, a lot of clubs and people doing a mistake of preparing only for competition and then do that for a 5 weeks a year where they do a lot of sparrings, but then for the rest of the year they're doing katas and spar very rarely, and your body's losing that ability to be a functional, highly functional during the sparring. So for us, we're sparring every session. It's a half an hour of sparrings. It's an all-around format because we are the all-around karate. So we're doing stand-up, takedowns, escapes from the floor. We're not spending too much time on the floor, although students learn to do basic takedowns, basic escapes from the floor, basic chokes and arm bars and so on, but it's limited. So this is not area where we want to be. So although we're not doing it for a self-defense, I think this is a good approach just in case something happens out in the wild and we end up on the floor. Ability to get up and either run away or continue the fight is a good skill to have. And as I said, we are karate, so I enjoy standing up and kicking, punching, throwing better than the groundwork, and I think it is safer overall to do it. If I want to do a rolling, I go to my BJJ club where the proper coach is teaching me, so I don't try to. I'm not at the level of BJJ to instruct people on the floor. We've got our tested escapes from the floor that have been corrected by the BJJ coaches, so we stick to that as a format. And the competition that we're taking part in suit us in that manner because we've got a stand-up, we've got takedowns. There's a very limited groundwork, so you've got 10 seconds on the ground to pin the person without a ground and pound, which is fairly safe. So I don't have a worry that my students going in and let's say not prepared. I know they're not gonna get hurt. I know that they can keep up with everybody else, and it's just to see how their mental fortitude gonna be through that fight, and if their mind setup gonna give in or they're gonna excel and go through that test. Just for them to know. I don't expect them to be a competitors. I just want my students to go at least once in a lifetime to experience that pressure, to test themselves against somebody who actually wants to win and goes for it, because in the club our sparrings are very light. We don't try to kill each other. We try to do respectfully and learn together instead of trying to hurt each other, because it is not worth to have a concussion, injuries, and so on when you're training for well-being, right? It's kind of counterproductive if you're constantly getting headaches, can't focus, having injuries. It's just counterproductive. So for us, it is very light sparring, light contact, but continuous fighting with the takedowns, with the escapes from the floor, and so on and so on. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the competition in March. If you would like to join in, I'm going to put the link to AKA Combat Sports Club, where you can speak to Steve Goodhand, and he's organizing the competition. It is nice that it's year to year growing. So if you want to take part in the competition in the UK, would be great to catch you there and test each other, see how our students are doing, how we're performing. And it's nice that the karate have got that arena now where it's a more all-around fighting instead of being just a point sparring or knockdown. It is nice to be kind of all around it and find the avenue for more people to test themselves more in a most popular format, MMA. So it's close to it, but safer. And you don't have to be a top athlete to do it. If you don't like this, there will be a kata competition as well, which I might be taking part as well. I'm not that great in kata, but just for fun and showing my students that I participate as well. And age is not a barrier, so you can come in and do the kata and see how you stack up against the younger, fitter, and technically better participants. So we'll see how we go. I hope that we can see you there. If you would like to support our mission, please visit Karate for Mental Health CIC. You can grab some merchandise there. You can find our projects. If you would like to join me personally on a seminars, check out our website, lesbubka.co.uk. Maybe sign up to our newsletter where you can get some discounts. You can get some invitation for a special events that are not listed on Facebook and social media, but are available on the website or through the newsletter. And then there is some new releases. I've done the book. I'm waiting for a proof of print or print proof. I don't know how you call it, a test book. And hopefully it's gonna be out soon. So through the newsletter, you might have a discount from that book and have a pre-order. But enough of me rambling. I catch you on the next one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.